Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to sketch and model a die, a six-sided die. And so here is our desktop. All of our desktops should look exactly the same, and down here in the bottom left hand corner you should see Autodesk Inventor icon. Yours might be somewhere else. We'll double click on Autodesk Inventor, and as it loads we're going to do a simple extrusion, and we're going to learn how to drill holes into it. So yours may come up with three options: part, assembly, or drawing. If it does come up like this, you're just going to click on part. Yours may come up and just look like this. If that's the case, you're going to go right up here to this drop down and you're going to click on part from here. There's also another way to do that, and that is just going up to your application menu. It's the big I, and going up here, and where it clicks new, you can go over here to a new part there as well. So there's a few different ways to create a new part. Alright, when it launches a new part, you're going to have this area here, again called our graphics window. This is our graphics window here in the middle. This is where we do all of our work. This is called our browser. I'll refer to this as a browser. And this here is called the banner. Sorry, not banner, but ribbon. This is called the ribbon. And these up here are called your ribbon tabs. So I'll refer to those every once in a while, and so you know what that is. Ribbons. This is the ribbon bar, this is the browser, and this is the graphics window. Alright, so we are going to start a new sketch. So here is the start new sketch. We're going to click that, and you have your three planes that come up. We are going to be working again on the XY plane. So click on the XY plane, and notice our Y and our X coordinate lines come up. This is going to be a simple square. Alright, so we're going to go up here and click on rectangle, because a square is a rectangle. So we're going to click on rectangle, and then notice my cursor changed to a plus sign. So I'm going to change that plus sign, or I'm going to move the plus sign all the way down to the very center, and notice it turns green when I get on that center point. Alright, so I'm going to click one time, click, and then I can drag. I'm not holding my clicker down, I'm just dragging the mouse around, and this will move any direction we want to go, but notice that it stays on that point. We're going to move up and to the right, up and to the right. Now notice the one number is blue, and this is going to be a 1 inch by 1 inch square. So I'm going to type in 1, and I'm going to click tab, and that'll get us to the other number, and I want that number to be 1 as well. So click 1 and then enter. That gives us a 1 inch by 1 inch square. Notice we can't see the whole thing, so I'm going to click on front here, and it's going to show me the entire box that I just made. This is the square that I just made. I'm done with the first sketch, so I'm going to click finish sketch, and I'm finished with that part of it. Now I can click that home button, and it'll show me the entire square that I just made. Now I want to make this into a 3D object. To do so, I'm going to click the extrude button, click the extrude, and notice it already, there's only one thing for it to extrude, and it extruded it for us. And notice it went ahead and made it 1 inch as well. If that was not 1 inch, you would need to type in 1 inch there and click enter. And now, and hit our home button so we can see the whole thing, and now we have our 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch box. Alright, this is now going to be our die. Alright, so now we need to put holes on the entire thing. So let's go click the home button. This is our front, this is our right side, and this is our top. Now we can get into the back, the left side, the bottom, but for right now let's just worry about the front. Alright, so I'm going to, notice when I hover over the right side it turns a light gray. I'm going to right click, and I get a bunch of options that come up. I want to click on a new sketch, so I'm going to click new sketch, and it shows me what I need to do a new sketch on. This is the side I want to do a new sketch. Okay, this is a brand new feature that we've never covered in class. And up here in your banner, remember this is called, ribbon, I did that again. Up here in your ribbon, you have an option called point. So click on point, and notice again my cursor turns to this plus sign and is followed with this yellow dot that's following me around. This side of my die is going to be the one side, which means I only want one hole on that side. So with that one hole, I want it to be exactly centered on that side. So I'm just going to get it really close. I'm going to take my pointer, I click point, and I'm just dragging this down, and I want to get it really close to the center. And so I'm just going to click one time. When I get it close, click one time. And there it is. I now have a green plus sign, very center, very close to the center of that square. All right? That's the only point I want on there because this is the one side. So now I want to make sure this is in the center, so I'm going to click dimension. And when I do that, it's going to allow me to put this in the very, very center of this square. So I'm going to go up here and hit this. When I get to the top of the box, it turns white. I'm going to click, left click once. And when I get to the very center of this plus sign, click again. I'm going to do that again. Sorry, sometimes it doesn't work. You might have to do it twice. So I'm going to click one time at the top, one time in the center of the plus sign, and notice it was 0.486 from the top. So I'm going to click that 0.486. I'm going to just click it one time. All right, you might have to click it twice, but when you do, the number should pop up here. Now, from the top to the bottom of the square is 1 inch. So half of 1 inch would be a ½ inch, or 0.5. So I'm going to type in 0.5 and click enter. And now from the top to the bottom, that plus sign is exactly in the middle from top to bottom. But now it's not exactly middle from left to right. So I need to do that. I'm going to go over here to where it turns white, click once, and to the center, click again. Now notice it didn't work. Sometimes, again, that happens. It's okay. Click dimension again and just try it again. Click there and click the center, and notice it worked this time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this was a 0.519. So I'm going to click that 0.519 again. You might have to click it twice. All right. This time it needs to be 0.5, but I want to show you something. If we know from the left to the right is 1 inch, from this side to this side is 1 inch, then I can also go 1 divided by 2, because I want halfway between this side and this side, and this side of this side is 1 inch, and I'm just going to divide 1 inch divided by 2 and click enter, and notice it went ahead and made it 0.5 because it's 1 divided by 2. 1 inch divided by 2 is 0.5. So that is perfectly dimensioned in the middle now. So I'm done. I'm going to finish my sketch, and now I just have a point in the middle of my front side. This is where we're going to drill a hole. So you just come up here to your ribbon and click hole, and notice what it does. If yours did the same thing mine did, it put a hole through the entire through the entire cube. We don't want it through the entire cube because this is a die, and we don't want it through the entire thing. So right here where it says termination, notice it says distance, and when that says distance, it will give you an option up here to change the distance. If yours says through all, that means it made it through the entire thing. If it's a distance, it may or may say this did because it was a distance of 1 inch, and this is only 1 inch thick. All right. So I want to make sure this says distance. The depth of the hole, I want it to be very, very, very shallow. So I'm going to put 0.001. Notice it's very shallow. Now this is the diameter of the hole right here. This 0.25 inches is the diameter, and I'm just going to change this to 0.2. Just made it a little bit smaller, but 0.2 diameter. Okay? And the only other thing that I want you to do is change the degree. Make sure this is clicked, the drill point. We want it to go at an angle, and I want to change this to 145 degrees. And then I'm going to say OK. And we are done with our first side. Done with our first side. So now, if I want to go to the top, I can right-click on the top. If I want to go to the right side, I can right-click on the right side. If I want to go to the back, or right-click on the back. All right? And you're going to do the exact same things that you did the first time using different dimensions. All right? And I'm going to show you what you will receive tomorrow is this right here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, but it's going to tell you, if I were doing a two-sided, it would be this plus sign and this plus sign. So it's got dimensions for both of those right on there. All right, and so that should show you how to do all of the different sides of the die. Okay, once you're done with the entire die, then we're going to go up to fillet, and you can change the fillets and all. Just click fillet, and then you can change and round the edges of your cube, and you can click on all of the edges and even invisible lines, the ones that are behind. See, that one's behind. You can click on all of the different sides. Here's one on the back, and you can make it round. You can make the edges rounded. I can click apply and say, and then exit out of it. Now all of my sides are filleted. All right, that fillet, if you want to go back and make the edges a little less rounded, I can come over here to where it says fillet 1, right click and edit the feature, and I can change that to maybe 0.05 so it's not so rounded. Click OK. Now it's not so rounded. All right, you can play around with the fillet as much as you want. Just make sure that it makes sense when you do it. All right, that's how you make a die. All right, and again, with the die, with a normal die, it's going to have a certain, let's go back up here, it's going to have certain numbers on certain sides, and make sure it's done correctly. Make sure if the 1 is in the front, that means the 6 is in the back. So make sure that the right sides are on the right sides, so the right numbers on the right sides. All right, enjoy.